finally here up and running. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Madeline, and I look after partner marketing over at Klaviyo. And I'd like you to meet my fabulous panel here today, and I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Kate?
Great. So I am Kate, GM for the APAC region for SearchSpring. So I have flown in from Sydney. I think I may have travelled the furthest to come to this event.
Bonus point for that.
Good morning. My name is... Is it me or you? No. My name is Daniel. I'm Senior Partnerships at Shopify, really focusing on recruiting new partners into our ecosystem. And I look after EMEA North, that means UKI, and the Nordic countries as well.
Hey everyone, I think most of you know me as Baby Neil, but my real name is actually Nicholas. I'm the Partnerships Manager at Klar. We're the data guys, and yeah, nice to meet you all.
And I'm Johan, not sure if mine is working.
Use mine.
Oh yeah,
Use mine.
I'll do it without the mic. But I manage agency partnerships in Europe at Gorgeous, so for Central Europe, Nordics, and Central Europe. So basically everything except the UK and the Netherlands. That's my colleague Neil. And Gorgeous, we're the leading customer support platform for e-commerce. And hopefully we'll be sharing some useful insights for all of you out here today.
Awesome. My name's Franco. I do partnerships at Gadget. Gadget is a web app and integration development platform for Shopify and BigCommerce specifically. We basically take care of all the headaches and complexities so agencies, developers can just work on building their apps. And that's it.
All right. So we are ready to go. Now, it's been interesting so far to hear. I know both Celine and Nathan mentioned in their talks earlier the importance of working with tech partners and making sure that you have a good relationship there. So I just want to do a little quick show of hands just to check that you're all alive, first of all, and, well, here. How many of you would you say, have a solid tech stack offer as part of your services? Show of hands. So, all right, so about half. Okay, good. We shall cover you both, don't worry. So if we then start with agencies who are sort of at the start of their tech partner journey, they don't have that solid relationship tech stack as part of their services. If we were to look at the key steps that they should be taking to build those relationships and to set up that the tech stack services, what would you say agencies should be looking for when working with tech partners? And let's start with you, Kate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost is the relationship. So as Nathan mentioned, you want to be working with good people, people that you can trust, people that are fun, but also people that are going to take the best care of your clients as well. So when working with agencies, this is something we've done really successfully in the APAC region. So we went to 100 customers in year one, and 72% came from agency partners. And I think there's some key things in there in terms of which tech partners are working with your clients, and what do your clients say about those tech partners? And then which are the clients that you want to be working with, and what tech partners are they working with as well? I'll give you an example when it comes to looking at how do we care about taking after customers. We have been working to crack one of the large agency partners in Australia for a couple of years. They had a preferred e-com tech stack. They gave us a shot on a very large migration project. We're going from Magento to Shopify. That client had had a poor experience with another solution previously, which was part of their preferred e-com tech stack. This client was trying to bring together an ERP go live, WMS go live, Shopify Plus through platform, all in one go. This project was with a very hot-head client. The world was falling in every time a little thing that went wrong that wasn't really going to actually impact the go live of the project. Every day, us in the agency showed up. There was a lot of things on the agency side that they were trying to move at rapid speed, faster than they really could truly deliver. And we got everything lined up. We were ready to go live. Sunday night, things went wrong on the agency side, and the agency was using offshore devs. And so those offshore devs were not available on the weekend. I had our team on Sunday night working to troubleshoot and find resolutions, things that were actually on the agency side, not actually on our core tech stack. That project went live. That client called me on the day of go live to say, Kate, thank you. This project would not have happened without you. Now, I was the least important, helpful person in that entire project. Like, I wasn't the one doing the work, but we were rallying the troops. And so having a tech partner that you know you can call on, that you can dive into, and you're in it together, that you can trust with your clients, I think is one of the key things.
Okay, so Johan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. And I think also as an agency, it's all about the value that you bring to your customers and the trust that they have in you. So they expect you to be a trusted advisor, to know the ecosystem that they're in, to know their business. So it's also your role to know what are the tools out there that could benefit your customers and prospects. So it's all about speaking to your existing customers and prospects, understanding what are their needs that could be outside of your direct scope as an agency, and making sure that you are aware of what are the top solutions that could bring the most value to your customers, and then make sure that you know what are the use cases, who are the points of contacts, so that whenever there's a need or a conversation that makes sense for you to get closer to that partner, you already have this relationship and understanding of what that partner could bring to your customer. Because at the end of the day, it's all about helping your customers drive more revenue, and a lot of the time, is going to be done not only through your services, but also through the solutions that you would recommend to your customers.
So, Dan, I know that you feel strongly about pipeline.
Yeah, I guess so. So from a perspective, hello, must be the wine from last night. So from a perspective of looking at an agency, looking at a tech vendor, I've been on both sides. So I've been on the agency side as a consultant. I've been obviously on the SaaS side as well. And for me, when choosing the right tech partner, it's always down to pipeline. So it's from my mind, no use working with a tech vendor that's not investing in your market, that are not investing in your ideal customer profile, that are not investing into your specialism. And if they don't have that, then what's the point of working with those tech partners? And I find, traditionally speaking, a lot of SaaS companies, especially coming from CROs that want to put partnerships in place, all they really give a fuck about is leads, right? And they try and just hammer down the agencies just for a lead gen source, but they forget that there's a two-way street. And that two-way street is around tech vendors investing in the ecosystem that those agencies believe that are part of. So I always think that as an agency, there should be rhetorical questions that you should always be asking every single tech vendor and partner person that you deal with is, one, what are you doing to get into the market? Two, how much of marketing are you investing in terms of demand gen? Because ultimately, SaaS companies are sales houses. They are built to drive pipeline because they've got SDRs. They've got money to hit, they've got quotas to hit because they've been brought on board new investments of 50 million euros, for example, whatever it may be. So what are they doing to generate the pipeline? What they're doing to be a specialist, or I guess a point of difference versus other competitors. Because in the world of commerce, there's loads of e-commerce platforms out there, there's loads of CMS platforms out there, there's loads of everything. So how are those particular ones playing with other platforms, and how are they ultimately differentiating themselves within the market? And these are the questions I will be thinking of. And ultimately, what are they doing to win your agency, and how they're going to work with you? Everyone does referral fees, great, but you're not going to make your money out of that. So the point is how are those tech partners are offering you other services that you guys can deliver, whether it's implementation or subsidiary or ancillary services that you can build around with that technology partnerships that you have with them.
So if we then talk about retainer office, now obviously we know that building a retainer business is very close to Rachel's heart. So most of you probably know that she is the person to go to get help with that. But how would you say would be the best ways for agencies to build these kind of businesses? So Nicholas, let's start with you.
Yeah. So I think with our tools, pretty straightforward, since we're doing, we have a BI tool with an attribution feature as well. So we have a few partners, sorry, that are doing data analyst as a service for their clients, right? So if you know all the numbers of your clients, like how profitable they are, what the retention is looking like, how their acquisition is performing, you actually know a lot more than they already do, right? So if you take the time to understand the tool, we do the enablement sessions together with our partners to really teach them how the tool works, and then you can actually add this to your retainer. And secondly, we do audits of every account that is being referred to us by our partners. That a few partners, we just white label it. We actually put the logo of the agency on it, and they just sell it to their clients. And you don't have to do anything for it, basically.
Franco, would you?
Taking a quick step back before answering the retainer question, I think there's like 3 big ideas that would underpin a lot of what's relevant to both tech agencies or tech partners as well as agencies. I think the first one is, keep in mind who you're selling to at all times. So as an agency, who's that client that you're selling to? How do you make them a hero? Same thing for a tech partner. That's your goal. It will lead to revenue. The second thing is, we talked about funnels earlier. Nathan mentioned it, but once you have a client or a partner, treat that as a funnel as well. Build a roadmap, understand that at different stages of their business or life cycle, they'll have different needs, and you as an agency can bring in different partners at each of those stages of their life, of the relationship with you. And then the third idea is retainer, which obviously is the question that we're talking about right now. I think it's really the most important thing. In product, you've got a defensible moat because of the SaaS business model. Agencies as a service, you don't have that. So if you're not building retainers, smaller agencies don't tend to do that. But by understanding, who you're selling to, what is that life cycle, you can design a retainer that will generate revenue for you after that initial engagement, which basically acts as a defensive moat and allows you to do more stuff and build that relationship go longer. It's expensive to acquire new clients, but it's easier to sell to an existing one.
All right, so if we now then pivot a bit and look at those agencies who have a solid tech stack offer, what would you say then are the key success factors to leverage those relationships, as well as making sure that you build your own reputation of trust? So if we start with the best ways that agencies can work with platforms and to deliver better results, what would you say they should be thinking about? Johan?
Actually, just quickly going back on the retainer piece, and I'll tie it back to this question, but retainers are about retaining your customers, and that means bringing value to them and helping them grow. So in terms of building the retainers, it's also about finding out what are the tools that our customers are using that may be outside of the initial scope that we'll help the customer with, and understanding what are the things that they could improve or get more help with. So you could be asking, are you using Gorgeous, are you using Clar, are you using SearchSpring, and then seeing if there's ways for them to improve that usage. And if there's way for improvements that kind of align with what your agency is about, then get closer to that tech partner and tell them, listen, I want to offer services around what you do. How can I learn more? How can I train my team on it? And can you help me price and package and market that offering? So I think it's about the relationship with that tech partner, making sure that, if they want to come to your office and meet your team, get them to come in, get those relationships built, so that whenever your team may need something from tech partners, like the example Kate gave earlier, you have those relationships within your team, and that whenever you need some training, some advice, some help from that tech partner, you have that relationship going, and you have some experts in your team that will be the go-to person for the topics around that. And that's probably my best advice would be to have a good, strong relationship with that partner, because whatever you may need from them, it could be help with an existing project, it could be getting them to send you some projects at some point for the retainers around their tool, it could be having them sponsoring some events. So for example, we have Adrian here from Tenti, who we are sponsoring events all year long in Germany. That's one way that we are bringing value back to them, because they were first investing in learning more about Gorgias, recommending it to their customers. So there's always a way to get value back from tech partners that you invest your time with.
All right. So, Niklas, from your perspective, anything that you want to add?
I think in general, most agencies focus on a specific channel or a specific part of the business of the brand, right? You're either doing CRO, you're doing shop building, or you have a specific marketing channel you're focusing on. But if you really want to get like the bird's eye view of the whole business, so that's what we do, right? I think you should take your time to really understand the tool. Like we do, as I said before, these enablement sessions, where in the best case scenario, the whole team is actually there. All the stakeholders that have touch points with our tool are there to really understand how do e-com brands grow, right? Because that's what we are all about. And so take your time and put some effort in to actually, understand what Klar is all about from our point of view. Yeah.
So how often should you review your tech stack, Kate?
Yeah, absolutely. I think consistently is the answer, particularly in the current environment. So we know that it is tough out there at the moment for e-com brands and retailers. And so we're consistently working both directly with clients, but also with agencies, and to really look at how are they sweating their tech stack. How are we making sure throughout the year they're getting as much value as possible so that when it comes to renewal time, it's an easy conversation? And I think we really understand what are those key metrics that matter. So how are we working really closely with agencies on what is really going to move the needle on growing conversions or growing AOVs? How can we optimize and automate as much as possible for really lean e-commerce teams? Because when a customer is doing well, that agency is having a better experience with that customer. That agency is then able to present what is the next project that we want to collaborate and work on together. And I think by staying really focused on those pieces that are really important to e-com and retailers and how are you helping and getting ahead of that, I think that's a really important piece. So is their tech working for them that they have today? Are they getting as much ROI? We've done so many tech swap outs because e-com teams cannot use the tech that they have in front of them. So we talk about like making sure that we've got a healthy pipeline, but also are those tech providers really set up to lean in from a customer success perspective and make sure that that onboarding piece, that training, when there is a new user, that user is trained up on the software, and then feeding that back with the agency so the agency is really aware of how much value this client is getting out of their tech. And I think that relationship and that open communication between those agencies is really key.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
From a Shopify and being on the agent side perspective, I guess it's really down to you guys listening to the market, hearing what your customers are saying. So last year, I guess from a service point of view, a lot of conversations were around how can we do more for less, which seemed to be the message I was hearing. How can we get more value for the same budget, if not less? And I guess listening to what the market's saying about that then dictates how you as consultants and trusted service providers can bring into play, whether it's service related or technology related. And so like last year, for example, I was working for a company called Reply, we're an SAP house. The message wasn't about adopting SAP Commerce Cloud, which is pretty big and heavy and cumbersome. It was more about how do we keep the existing framework and then, dare I say, accelerate the process of that platform. So it was all about front end, because SAP was super heavy. We didn't want to rip it out straight away and replace it with a new platform. They wanted to use like Vue Storefront, for example, as a way of speeding up the front end so that they could innovate their user journey. So that's a great example, listening to the market, and then that led to total cost of ownership, which we've been aggressively going after in our ecosystem, where the market is saying that bigger businesses, they want to be able to do more for less. They want to be able to innovate, but the current tech stack, they just can't move because it just costs too much. So how do you do that? Well, something like Shopify, plug Shopify, can help, and other solutions associated with the Shopify ecosystem can also help, whether it's a CMS system because you're trying to improve the user experience. It could be a payment solution. It could be product information. But it's just about you guys listening to the market and understanding and having that relationship with your client about what's bothering them and what's holding them back.
Okay, so what we're saying then is that if you are an agency, you really need to understand the tech market, you need to understand the space, have your favorites, but don't be too locked in. Review your tech stack on a regular basis. Make sure that you work with tech partners as partners and not just as lead suppliers. And I know from our perspective at Klaviyo, our goal is to make agencies more successful, because we know that if you are more successful, we will in return be more successful down the way. So we're very focused on training agencies, making sure you have the resources that you need to be the experts in your field. And I know that you guys have similar setups with a lot of trainings. So also make use of that, the information that's available to you. I know sometimes it can be time consuming and you can think, oh, I need to just get on to the next project. But it is worth investing into the time into learning about these different technologies. And that leads perfectly into flipping this on its head. And from our perspective as tech partners, what does a great agency partner look like? We're putting you guys on the spot now. Dan, want to go first?
That they like to drink wine, I guess, and
We're in the right
and have
company.
lunches and dinners with us. From my perspective, I really want to work with partners that want to lean in heavily into our technology and be the specialist in our solution. And it doesn't have to be the whole thing. It could be parts of our technology, whether it's user experience or payments, whatever it may be, but really leaning in helps our jobs when ultimately potentially referring you guys into a project. That's number one. Number two is the active partners. I've worked with too many partners that are reactive and they're not proactive. And for us tech vendors, we love any partner agencies that are proactive, that really want to speak to our sales team, that really want to speak to the leadership team, that really want to be part of any events or case studies or content that we pump out, that really want to be part of that ecosystem. They're the ones I find that seem to do really well out of working with tech partners. And then the third piece is, I guess I'm going back to my first point, but enablement is key. It really is, because we're finding at Shopify there's an international shortage of specialists, especially as we grow and go up market. We really need more developers, specialists in Shopify, because the amount of revenue that we're spending and money we're investing in the market is phenomenal, and we just need our partners to be able to catch up with us ultimately. Those three key areas.
Kate, from SearchBank's perspective?
Yeah, I think it's winning together. So we want to make sure that our agency partners are successful. We want to make sure that we've got that open flow, like what are the brands that the agencies do want to be winning, and which ones are we already working with, or which ones do we have great relationships, and where of our clients are moving on to their new brand, making sure that we're there and we're able to introduce the agencies that we can trust back as well. I think that's really important for us. For our top agencies, we do quarterly client sentiment mapping. So book of business, which are the clients we're already working on, like what is each of their client sentiment, how much value are they getting across like revenue from search, percentage of clients using search, influence revenue from product recommendations, and we're making sure that that agency is fully across this value piece. And then we're looking at what parts of the software are they maybe not using, and what are those next projects that we can start to look to brief in, like slide out mini carts or checkout recommendations now. So really having that roadmap and working with the agency on that. So when they're going into their quarterly business reviews with clients, they have a plan and they know and they're on the front foot around further areas for optimization as well.
Franco?
Yeah,
What would you say?
I think we've heard a lot of really good insights, like from across the panel throughout the conversation. So, to recap, like some of the most important ones, from the tech partner perspective is, we want to be able to work with agency partners who are eager to dive in, eager to, learn or try new things, even if it starts off with very small projects. I think that's a great way for both sides to get to know each other. And then, like as Johan mentioned, there's always opportunities to reinvest at that point. So anyone that you develop that close relationship with, it goes both ways. So definitely like lean on your tech partners. We want to be there to help. We want to help you win. We want to help you grow. We want to be part of that. Yeah.
Johan, anything you want to add?
Yeah, and I think one nice aspect that Daniel mentioned is proactivity, and also remembering that a partnership is about human relationships. So from a business perspective, at Gorgeous, the best partner is the partner bringing the most money, is the case of everybody here, sure. But from a partner manager perspective, the best partner is someone who is proactive, who is engaging with us, who is sometimes checking in and asking what are the updates with your product. And as a partner manager, you work with a lot of partners, but a lot of partners are not proactive, they are reactive. So they only answer once in a while, or they only contact you when they need. But you have a really good chance as an agency to be really top of mind and be, I guess, high on the list of favorite partners of a partner manager if you're just checking in, generally getting interested in what are the updates, getting your team trained on the product, and then eventually you'll be more top of mind for us as well. We'll think about you more for co-marketing opportunities, for sponsoring opportunities, helping you in a way that we can, because sometimes we cannot send you leads directly, but we can share some insights about what we are seeing on the markets. And you seeing this as a partnership, not only to help your customers and send leads our way and get leads our way, but also as human beings, how can you agencies get value from partner managers? Because they're trying to help you and they have a strong network. So how can you turn that into your advantage by being proactive and checking with them often and seeing where that relationship can go, whether it is getting leads directly or just some super useful insights or introductions to other people that can help your business along the line.
And drinking wine.
And drinking wine.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
very important. And actually, fun fact, there's only one exception, but all of my best partners at Gorgeous are the ones that we went out for drinks and dinner with. So it looks like it is working, and that's probably important to take the time to meet those people in person, because it can go a long way on both sides. Yeah.
All right. I know that we are running really behind schedule. So any questions that you have for any of us in the panel, come grab us later on when we have lunch or at any point during the evening. But I also just want to have to very quickly point out that by the end of today, I want to see every single one of you in a Clavio Hawaiian shirt, which you can find just over there. But that's it from us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Madeline. Thanks, panel. Yeah, we want on the hurry up. We're on the hurry up, so I'm not going to say too much word. Next up is a consultant. We love them, we hate them. But this is going to be one that you love. So please welcome on stage Tiara. 2 words, sanity and vanity. Enjoy.